Namaskar, I am Mansi. Welcome to my HRM series with the new topic selection. We have discussed what is recruitment, HR planning, and job analysis, specification, job description, and so many topics of HR. So, after creating the pool in the recruitment process, how we are going to hire the best employee or the most suitable employee for the organization. This all we are going to discuss in this lecture. How to define selection? It is a process of identifying and hiring the most suitable candidate from the pool of applicants. As we all know that recruitment created the pool of applicants and selection is going to pick the best employee for the organization. Selection aims to match the job requirements with the candidate attribute. For example, if any job is vacant, so it would be having some kind of special requirements, for example, skills, knowledge, abilities, and competencies which are required, which a person must possess to fulfill the particular task. So it is going to match with the, I require these things and which candidate is having all these things so that the task can be performed effectively. And what are the candidates attribute? It could be education, it could be the experience, it could be the personality. So basically it ensures the right person is hired for the right job, and it also intends to achieve the alignment between the organizational needs and individual competencies. So what the organization is requiring, it should match with the individual competencies. Now let's begin. What is the difference between the recruitment and selection? In one word, if you want to explain what is recruitment, it is creating the pool of applicants. On the other hand, when we say what is selection, it is the picking up the best candidate for the organization. On various dimensions, for example, nature, purpose, sequence, and outcome, the difference can be made between recruitment and selection. Let's say it's a positive process and selection is a negative process because the number of people gets reduced. The purpose, it creates a pool of applicants, and in selection, they select the best candidate from the pool based on the fit. Sequence, it occurs first we are creating the pool, and then we are picking the best candidate. Then outcome, it encourages applicants and builds a candidate pool. On the contrary, it results in job offer placement of the chosen candidate. So this is all about, okay, in simple words, you can just picturize this also, but what I'm going to speak. Recruitment can be assumed as the, about casting a wide net, while selection is about finding the right fish. So it's about matching the individual credentials and skills to organizational needs to minimize the turnover, absenteeism, and cost. What makes a selection tool effective, or on what basis you will say that this selection tool is the most effective one? So any test, interview, or assessment tool used in the selection must fulfill two criteria. Primarily there are two criteria. One is validity, another one is reliability. So when we talk about validity, it measures what it is intended to measure, that is the extent to which the tool predicts the job performance. When we talk about validity, it is of two types. Number one, content validity. Number two, criteria validity. Content validity ensures the test items reflect the actual job task, and criteria validity includes, predictive and concurrent validity, which often correlates with the or which or correlates with the performance. It could be the future performance, it could be the current performance. When we talk about reliability, it ensures the consistency of results across time, raters, and test administrations. A reliable tool yields the stable outcomes. Both validity and reliability are foundational to the effective selection. Without them, the tools can mislead and are potentially unfair. So whenever we are deciding upon any kind of selection tool, let's say interview or some particular psychometric test, we should make sure that it has high validity and reliability scores. The same case we are going to understand in this slide. Uh, Effectiveness of the selection tool is determined by the validity and the reliability. When we talk about content validity, in this slide I'm going to give example. uh, First, let me tell you the meaning. Content validity, again I'm going to repeat, the extent to which the test covers all aspect of the job or skill being tested. And when we give example, we can give the example of a typewriter typing test for the data entry job, which includes the speed as well as the accuracy. So that is a perfect example. Now let's talk about the criteria related validity, where we are going to give the example. First, I will tell you the meaning again. The extent to which test scores correlate with the job performance, that is criteria. It could be the present one, it could be the future one. So high cognitive ability test, like whenever we are hiring a software development employee, like for the like I'm sorry, whenever we are hiring someone for the post of software development, we should conduct certain type of high like cognitive ability test, and on the basis of the test scores, if we see that someone is having high and someone is having low, so obviously we are going to give preference to the high cognitive ability scores, because software development requires high cognitive ability, and in future the person who is having the higher scores are going to perform the job in a better way. Now let's talk about the reliability. When we talk about reliability, it is the consistency of the scores if the test is repeated under the similar conditions. So an aptitude, for example, there is an aptitude test given similar results, gives similar results when the same person attempts it in the second time under the same conditions. So this is all about. This is the reference from where I have taken this. You can also refer this. Now let's talk about what is the selection process. So it begins with receiving the applications, where organization invites and collects the applications through job portals, company websites, or advertisements. Then once the applications are received, the screening process takes place. The HR manager and the line manager review applications to eliminate the candidates who do not meet the minimum qualification, experience, or eligibility criteria. It is followed by the preliminary interview, like we studied in the or we discussed in the previous slide. A brief interview, often conducted over the phone or online. The purpose is to filter out the misfits before the proceeding for detailed assessments. Now let's talk about the employment test, which could be of two types. For example, aptitude or intelligence test, and the second category would be psychomotor or proficiency test. The next one is employment interview. Once the test has been conducted and you have secured some marks, then the interview happens. Then the references and the background check. Employee verify the candidate's past experience, education qualification, and etc. It is a very critical process, because recently we are seeing a lot of examples where people have been laid off because it was found that they produced fake credentials in their CVs, and that time the company could not find these things, but later on when they were being hired, they have to eliminate or laid off the they have to laid off the employees who were working presently in the organization. For example, Accenture did it. Now let's talk about the medical examination. If it is required, like for certain posts, certain jobs, it is absolutely important to conduct the medical examination. Now, final selection decision. The best candidate is hired, and they make the right decision. Make the decision hiring the right person for the right job, and the compensation, job role, employment terms are also shared. Then onboarding and placement. This is the final stage. Congratulations. Once the candidate accepts the offer, welcome to the organization. Organization integrates them into the workplace through orientation, and a lot of training programs are held in the organization. So I would say that this is one slide. In one slide I have tried to explain, but I personally believe that it requires more attention, because once you join some organization, you need to discuss each step very critically. So I would be uploading one more lecture exclusively on selection process. So this is this is the list of the references which I have used in making this present lecture on selection. I would be uploading one more lecture on selection process exclusively, where I would be discussing each step uh, widely with all of you with the help of examples, so that it can help you understand the intricacies in the selection process. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you like this lecture. Happy learning.